Hello all, Nick Calabro here with Collaboration, and I want to quickly talk about something that a lot of agency owners are pretty much afraid to do, but don't actually realize that they should be doing more often and how they can actually go about doing it, and that is firing clients. Let's talk about it. So firstly, what does it actually mean to fire a client? This is pretty much, you've been working with this person, they're on your monthly retainer, okay, maybe you built a website for them, maybe you're doing some constant advertising, Google advertising, Facebook advertising, maybe some content here and there for them, and you've pretty much hit a point where either they're asking too much of you, they're not respecting the work, they're not paying on time, okay, they're just taking a lot too much out of you, right? If they're constantly calling you up, asking for improvements, asking for little things here and there that are not included in your original specs, right? This is when you might want to actually go ahead and fire these clients. Now I know that it might sound a little scary, like, oh no, this person's actually paying me a solid $2,500 a month, I don't really want to fire them, because sometimes they're actually paying on time, you know, it's a lot of good money coming into the company, coming into my personal salary. I don't really want to get rid of them because that's just saying goodbye to a lot of money. Well, you have to ask yourself one thing. Is the pain that they're putting you through worth that little bit of money that they're actually getting from you? Because chances are, if they're the type of client that's annoying the heck out of you, that's constantly calling you up, asking for these little tiny improvements that you know that you're above, that they should just be trusting you to take care of yourself, these are not clients that you really want to work with really at all, okay? The writings were probably on the wall when you were first prospecting them, when you were first coming into meetings with them in the very beginning, but you just were so eager to get that client, you were so eager to land them, you were so eager to finally sell them, okay, that you didn't actually let that stop you from signing them on in the first place. Now, we hear it all the time. The clients that are the easiest to work with are going to be the best because they're probably going to end up spending more money and actually giving you more money because they realize the work that you're putting in, they actually appreciate your work. Plus, they're not really going to take up that much time from your agency, right? You're going to have the templates, you're going to have the operations, you're going to execute on all those things. They're not going to be calling you up saying, hey, can we actually change the font color on the website? These are such trivial things that you should not be bothered with, that they should just trust you to take care of. If there are these types of clients, then you may want to consider firing them, okay? If they're giving you some money here and there, but you feel like you can actually prospect 2 more potential clients that may even be paying more in that same amount of time, then you should go right ahead and get rid of this client because they're eking more out of you than it's actually worth. Don't be confused by the dollar amount that's coming through if you have a lot more time, okay, to actually up your game, to actually prospect more people, to actually take in more meetings, okay, and to actually ultimately build a bigger business that is not catering to these somewhat selfish clients that are just eking all they can out of you and not showing any respect for it, and especially don't want to actually pay more for those services. You'll hear this time and time again that the clients that are the hardest to work with are going to pay the least amount, and the clients that are just a dream and that just hand you all the money are going to be the easiest, because the ones that are handing you all the money very easily and without much of a hassle are the ones that actually understand what you're doing. They appreciate the service that they're paying. They know the value of it. But if you're prospecting a client, okay, and they're coming at you with all these little back and forths, oh, I want to, you know, let's remove the sales tax, let's do 1 more video a week at the same cost, this is just a pain. Tell them right then and there, forget it. You know, it's not worth it. I implore you, tell this to them, I implore you to find another agency around, even ones that are just starting out, okay, that are much below the level that we're at right now. I implore you to find somebody else that will do what you're asking at that price. If they say that they'll do it, okay, good, go work with them, right? Because they're probably not very sustainable. They probably don't know what they're doing. They're probably estimating these prices. They're probably giving you these quotes, okay, based on no past experience, right? When you go to a client and say, look, this is just not possible, we're in the red, this is not sustainable, we don't have the manpower for this, we're growing too rapidly to handle your tiny account with this little bit of a budget anymore, okay? They might even respect you. So the reason we're making this video right now is because right now at Collaboration, this month actually, we just fired 2 pretty big clients. Now these clients were paying well over $2,500 a month, okay, for their services. They were getting some video work, they were getting some blog posts, and some advertising, stuff like that, right? It turns out that they were just taking too much energy from the company. They were emailing my guys, okay, they were saying, hey, we need to fix these little things here and there. It was just not worth it. It was not sustainable. So I finally told them, I called them up and I said, look, it's just not working out anymore. Look, we have the rest of the agreement. We'll finish out the next 2 months. Okay, we'll do the minimum amount that was in the original proposal, but after that, we're not going to continue. Now, this actually does a few things. First of all, I do not want to work with these people anymore. They are terrible clients for collaboration. We are hoping that we do not have to deal with them again. Sure, we lose out on a little bit of an income. Sure, we lose out on them possibly telling their friends about us, right? Because they're not going to recommend us now after we kind of left them high and dry like this, right? But I will bet the farm that at least one of these two, probably even both of them, in a couple months are going to come back to collaboration and say, you know what, you were actually doing your stuff on time, you're actually giving us some results, and maybe we were just a little bit too needy, okay? And we'd actually like to come back, let's work out a proposal, let's work out an agreement that works for both of us, okay? And we'd love to work with you guys again. Now, the reason why I'm so confident that this is going to happen is because I know these people, I know their budgets, I know what they're trying to get out of those budgets, and I know that if they go to anybody else, right, they're either going to say, forget about it, we're going to charge you 3x that. I can't believe that they were actually able to sustain that, right? Keep in mind, these original agreements were made very, very early on in collaboration, okay? They were locked in to those kind of poor pricing on our end, but because they were just, that's what they were originally quoted when we initially signed up with them. Now, in some cases, you're going to find that when you're first starting out, you're actually giving these quotes, right? Then the sales process drags on for months and months and months and months. And what happens is, no longer is that quote even reasonable anymore because you've grown so much in that time frame and they're still expecting that original quote. Now you should still give them that original quote, but they better be damned appreciative of that quote. And if they're doing anything to take advantage of you and the company, then drop them right away. Okay, now when they come back in 2 months, I'm going to say, look, here are our brand new prices. You're going to have to either deal with it or go find somebody else. If you want to find a smaller agency that was at the level we were at when I originally quoted you these estimates, go for it, okay? But I can guarantee you, they're still not going to give you what you want because I know that you weren't even happy with what you were getting when you were with us. Okay, so the bottom line here is, don't be afraid to kind of put your foot down and say, look guys, it's not going to work out. We decided that we're looking for other clients in higher echelon of business. Okay, this is going to do a couple things, right? They're going to feel maybe almost a little insulted. They're going to realize that they should have stuck with you in the past, right? It's when you break up with maybe a life partner, okay, and then they realize after you're gone, oh my god, I really needed this person, I am lost without them, okay? They're going to be lost without collaboration. I'm nearly certain of it, unless they hire a whole marketing team in-house, which sometimes is a better deal, right? Because not always a better deal. It's never going to really be a better deal. Agency work is always going to be much more cost effective, okay? But if you want to be talking to somebody every single day to be over their shoulder saying, I want the underlying to be this color, I want the links to hover color this, I want my Facebook ads to be hitting these zip codes and whatnot. And like these are a lot of things that can be done in the specs originally, right? You can plan all this stuff out, but if they are just sucking you dry, if they are manipulating you and eking out all they possibly can that is somewhat within their proposal, but not even because they're kind of going out of the scope, then drop that client, right? It is not worth it for you. It's not worth it for the stress. It's not worth it for your agency and the people that you have working underneath you. So ultimately, feel comfortable to fire clients. It'll actually be a weight lifted off your shoulders. You'll feel much more empowered, and you'll ultimately drive more business because now you have more time and more energy to pick up those higher echelon and ultimately better clients. I'm Nick Calabro. Thank you so much for watching. Now, get to work.